Hello everybody, long time no everything. If you look back in my videos from when I was poorly, you'll see that I say that quite a lot because there's like massive gaps in between, but that's what happens with things like chronic fatigue and that kind of thing, and relapses and all that kind of stuff. This time there's a much more crazy reason, but I'm not going to go into that. So, what I thought we would discuss today would be, it's really for my old subscribers really, but I wanted to talk about what it's like being better, because it's great but there are some things that it's like, oh wow, okay, that's a real knock-on effect. So one thing I would say is that if you struggled with temperature control, either hot or cold, when you had ME, when you get better, that stays basically. I've discovered these amazing tights which I'm wearing today, which look like sort of normal, nice tights, but they're actually velvet lined. They're so warm, it's great. And you just sort of get used to layers and things. So that stays, so get used to that. The other thing is that if you get hit with like a cold or whatever, you get hit a lot worse. It's more like, sort of, say for most people it'd be like a couple of days. It's going to be a week plus, potentially 2 weeks, for you to sort of be back to normal. But that's, again, you've taken a big hit, so it's kind of normal that it should take that long, because although you're better, your body's still like, whoa. That's what my theory is anyway. But the one thing that happened with me that I did not expect to happen at all was it's really hard to get work again. So even if you're qualified for things, if they've got somebody who potentially could struggle with like fatigue and stuff, or they've got somebody who hasn't had those in their background, they will go for it. So the thing that I found is that although I am qualified to work, I had to volunteer to prove that I could do it first. Sorry, I thought I would just add, because I'm editing this now, I thought I would just add that it's like they won't even let you do a full week. They'll be like, oh, come in Mondays and Tuesdays and then see how you feel, kind of thing. So it's a long process. It's a long process. Also, obviously, you might think, oh, well, I just won't tell them, so we'll just scrap that and be starting afresh. But it's the thing that if you can't give references for the last however many years, then they're going to be like, why? Why can't you give references? It's just like, well, I was in bed. So, yeah, they will find out. So just be honest and take the hit. And obviously that's frustrating, particularly, I'm not in that situation because my husband works, so it's good. But basically, particularly if you are relying on financial things, that's going to be hard, because a lot of employers are a bit like, ooh, we don't want to push you, we don't want you to go back, and all this kind of thing. And even if you're like, no, it's fine, I can walk, I can work, I practice and all this kind of thing, they just probably will not take that as a thing. That's what I found anyway. That's been my experience, that you will potentially have to volunteer for about 6 months before they were then willing to employ me. So that's a new thing that I was not expecting at all. So, yeah, interesting. So I would sort of say prepare yourself for, even though you're better, for having to prove to people that you're better. So I was working in a school because that's what I'm qualified to do. It's interesting. So all the best with that. Also, another thing that I found, which I think my husband and I both really struggled with, was because getting better from ME is very, very gradual, it's not sudden, you just kind of get used to it. And I always thought like, oh, when I'm better, we'll have like this massive celebration because it's been 9 years. But no, we didn't. And it was very much just like, oh, she's better now kind of thing. She's getting better, she's gradually getting better, and then she's better kind of thing. So it was a very gradual thing. So there wasn't like a big... But because, like, some of the brain fog, memory, like, I can't remember most of my time being ill. My dad always used to say this to me, that he can't remember being poorly. And I thought that was ridiculous at the time because I was like, I'm definitely going to remember this. But I've actually been watching my old videos and going, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Which for me is sad because it's like, it's basically the whole of our marriage so far, which is a bit sad. But anyway, we'll just make new memories. It'll be fine. So be prepared to have quite substantial memory fog, loss, whatever. And also things like I find it hard to make eye contact with people when I'm talking to them now, which is crazy because I used to like be really, really like communication and all that kind of thing. That was all my thing. And now, and I don't think it's like, oh, I feel uncomfortable. It's just like I just have to look away and gather my thoughts before I can continue talking to you, type thing. It's very interesting. I didn't realise that was something that would be. Yeah, you see, I was looking up and thinking, what am I talking about? You'll also find that if you're in a position of stress and you have to talk for whatever thing, that you'll think you've got your point and you're going to say it, and then your mind will just go, woo, and you completely forget what you're saying. So it's not easy. It's lovely being better, but it's not easy. And the thing that my husband and I really struggled with was that I think we both had the expectation that, oh, we'll go back to how she was before. But, like, I can't now walk and talk. Or, well, I can, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And so, like, if my husband and I are discussing things while we're walking, I will walk into things if I'm concentrating on what I'm talking about. And if I'm not, and I'm concentrating on walking, then I'll say something and he'll be like, what? And I'll be like, I don't know. It's really interesting and it's quite hard. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. Just in general, you're slower. I think this will be interesting to talk about in another video. Basically, people are starting, have you noticed this, everybody with ME? People are starting to be like, ooh, long COVID, that sounds like the symptoms of ME. CFS. So maybe, if enough medical people look into it, then maybe they'll actually start believing us, which would be great. But that's what a lot of long COVID people are finding, is that, you know, there are other symptoms people just aren't paying attention to because it's like, oh, you know, I'm tired all the time and like it's just, people just don't believe that. Tricky. I can't really think of anything else, but if you have any questions about that, I think that'd be really interesting to sort of start a discussion with that, because I have noticed a lot of stuff. My hair is still very happy. I'm never using shampoo ever again. And yeah, the combing thing is lovely. It's even started curling again. Look, oh, it's so exciting, because my hair used to be curly and it went straight when I had ME. I've noticed that for those of you with thyroid things, that might still climb, but obviously that isn't actually connected to ME, so that's a separate thing. So that's still climbing. I've noticed that I do get tired after an exercise. So like if I'm doing housework, I then have to just sort of rest a bit. But it's nothing as bad as it was. But yeah, it's just that thing of realising, okay, this is the new me, basically. My memory's shot. I can't make conversation as well as I used to. I'm not going to be able to get work for a while and all that kind of thing. And that sounds really depressing, but it's not. It's all part of the journey. And yeah, all the best with it. And for those of you who are still in it and struggling with lockdown and stuff, my heart goes out to you, because it is really hard. I know. I've been there. Watch my videos, and some of them are quite funny. And you can just sort of enjoy those and sort of be helped with those. And also my new sort of isolation in lockdown type videos will be helpful as well, because they're things that you can implement while you're poorly. Okay, it's a very long video. All right, well, lots of love, and I will hopefully see you again soon.